A, because my economic knowledge is extraordinarily limited, number one. You heard all of it right then, actually. And, but I did want to tie back to what Brandy was talking about how the board at this school does a hell of a good job trying to keep tuition as low as possible. I remember going to a board meeting last year, actually. It was like in March or April. And do you remember hearing about how the state freed up funds, speaking of liquid, they freed up a whole bunch of funds. COCC got a small grant of like $200,000 under the stipulation that it would have to go directly to instruction. And in particular, it was desired that it went straight to student tuition, which meant it held off any tuition hike last year. But the way it was worded was it didn't have to go to that. So the administration of the school said, let's take, it would have been essentially the same as offsetting a $5 per, I think a $5 per credit tuition raise. So the administration said, ooh, what if we offset $4 and made the students pay $1 extra? And the board was like, no, you will not do that. All that money will go directly to student tuition offset. So please realize, Charlie Miller, who runs Miller Lumber, is one of the 7 board members. He is one of the most amazing student advocates I've ever seen in my life. He was, as soon as the administration brought that idea, he said, no, all that money will go right to student tuition. So realize they're batting for you. And it's a pleasure to watch. It's super fun to watch this. I love seeing Charlie come out of 2nd Street Eats as I'm walking out with my bagel. He's walking in to get his bagel. Hey, Sean! I'm like, hey, Charlie. It's just like, I know that guy and the other 6 are in your corner. So it's super fun. If you ever get a chance, go to a board meeting for COCC. I mean, it's not like woohoo, it's a party. It's a very drawn out process, but hearing what they say about you guys and why they're there is pretty awesome. So anyway, back to stat.
So their meetings are open to the public?
They are. Yeah, I show up, but usually because I'm coming straight from work, I show up in my bike clothes, so I'm sure they love that. Hey, there's the hippie again. Yes, if you can totally just show up. Yeah, you can't speak unless you're on the agenda, but you can totally just go and listen. Totally rad. Totally. It's a pleasure to watch because they are totally in your guys' corner, and that makes me so happy. All right, let's get back into this. So, we are in Math 244, and I want to take a step back before we go back into the penny experiment again. Oh, Chris, what's up?
Can I ask a quick question
Of
about
course.
the homework?
Yes.
The page numbers.
Yes.
The page numbers you have down, are they the page numbers of the PDF, or the actual page numbers of the page?
Okay, thank you, Chris. I usually say this, but I've forgotten to. The PDF page numbers, so the book page 1, book page 2. The PDF is off by 10 pages with that, as it sounds like you have discovered. So if
when
you go,
say like 331,
it's probably 321 or 341. It's off 10. If you go into the search bar to type the page in, you'll have to type a 10-page difference from where you're actually trying to get. Does that make sense? Because for some reason, when Barb and Suzanne, or I think it's Barb and Suzanne, when they made the PDF, there's 10 blank pages that aren't numbered in the beginning.
Okay.
So page 1 is actually page 11.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to find page 21, you'll have to put in 31 to get page 21. Thank you for that question.
Okay.
Other administrative stuff, thank you for bringing that up. Let's just talk about administrative stuff. You guys get your first progress report from me? It's only got 1 quiz in it right now. I'll clean it up, make it a little easier to look at next time too. There's way too much stuff highlighted in black. I'm gonna gray out some stuff. Got some more quizzes posted for Wednesday. You can have it those. Thursday, thank you. Next class, let's just say next class. Number of quizzes, you can do as many or as few as you want, right? Central limit theorem's in there. If you didn't do central limit theorem, let it go. Normal distribution, if you don't remember normal distribution, let it go, that's fine too. Chances are you can go back into your notes and figure it out. And the last one is something else, which I now forgot. Monte Carlo simulation of the cards, yes, exactly. So those are all floating there for you. Email me if you get stuck with anything, especially with the Monte Carlo setup. You have to set your spreadsheet up to do. Has anybody tried it yet to make it as it works for you? Yeah. Been good. If you get stuck, just email me. We'll get you. I think I made a video to go with it. There's also some screenshots. Please.
I have a Mac with Excel on it, and
I wonder if the Monte Carlo will work on a Mac.
It does. I have a Mac also.
Shift F9.
Yeah, but to set it up the way that the
Yes.
instructions do.
I found it in the preferences as far as getting through that, but
Yeah.
I haven't run the simulation.
So you got the.
It's got the
everything set up,
iterative
right?
setup.
Okay. Do you have a MacBook or like a large desktop?
The desktop.
And F9 isn't generated.
Let's chit chat at break. Is that cool? Because I think I remember ish the trick, and we can Google it if we need to. Let's talk at break.
Well, I can just email my wife. She's got.
Oh, or that.
She's got it.
Probably gonna talk to her anyway. Totally. Whatever works. We'll make it work. I love Monte Carlo methods. I have one planned for today if we have time to get to it. We'll see if we get to it or not. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool for statistics. I think it's the future. What you're doing in that quiz, I think, compared and contrast with what we're gonna do today, I think that is the way statistics is gonna be done in 10 years. Hopefully before I retire, I'll have something to say about it. So anyway, that's the quizzes for next week. The Blackboard links are now active, so you can upload them, your solutions to them. There's 3 different links. Try to keep the quizzes in the right place. I think they're pretty well marked. CLT quiz, normal quiz, and Monte Carlo quiz or something like that. What else? What else? That's all I have to say about that. Oh, if anybody handed me a hard copy of the quiz from last week, I know there was some Blackboard issue with the quizzes themselves. I brought the hard copy somewhere, and I can give them to you at break. They're up here. Oh, and one last thing about assessments. I know this is boring to talk about. The Blackboard submissions. I spent some quality time, me and Blackboard, on Thursday evening, going through, figuring out what looks good in Blackboard and what doesn't. So like, remember last week, I'm like, oh yeah, go ahead, print the quiz, take a cell phone picture, email that. Remember I said, don't do that. That doesn't work in Blackboard. I don't know why, it doesn't work. So if you do that, if you send me a JPEG, it doesn't open in Blackboard, which means I can't do any of the cool commenting on it that I would like to do. So the only way I can then do it is if I hit print the thing out, and then write on the thing, which I don't want to do. That's the whole point, is I want to keep it all in one place. So I redid the submission guidelines for Blackboard on that assessment page, what types of documents you can send. A bunch of you were concerned that if you do the typed submission, it wouldn't show up. It works great. It works phenomenally well. Actually, if you do a typed submission, I can't tell the difference between that and a Word document. They look exactly the same in Blackboard. So I wrote up all the formats that are cool in Blackboard, and then I put ones that definitely aren't cool. Like for some reason, no surprise, OpenOffice documents don't open in Blackboard. So if you use OpenOffice, you'll have to change it to a PDF and then upload it, which works just fine. So I tried to use as many tricks as I could as I learned Blackboard. Yeah.
Did you figure a way that we would be able to show our work and be able to send it?
Well, you can always scan a handwritten page.
Okay.
You can.
Scanning works?
Scanning does work, yes.
When I edited on my phone and sent that, did that work? Or was
I
that
would've-
one of the ones? There wasn't a picture, but it was like, I saved the.
As long as it's one of the supported document types that I put in that, we're gonna be good. Good. Golden or good. Good. So yeah, Allie, it's a little bit tricky, but you can totally do handwritten work if you need to. You won't have to show a great deal of work in this class. There's not a lot of work to show, per se, in this class. But the work you do, you can use the tools that I linked up there, like LaTeX or an equation editor, or you can just handwrite the stuff and take a scan of it. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, one last thing about that. Don't print an entire document and then resend. So for example, the quiz last week, a bunch of you, here's one right here, printed the quiz and then circled the answers and scanned it and sent it in. Don't do that because the assessments are gonna start getting very long. Like this Monte Carlo quiz I think is 2 pages. The first project might be like 5 or 6 pages. Just put your solutions on a single piece of paper. So 1 answer, 2 answer, 3 answer, and then scan that and send it up. That keeps it as simple as possible. If you can, keep it to 1 page. You're not forced to that, obviously. If you need more than 1 page, you can do 1 page. But don't send in the entire. Blackboard's scroll option is a pain in the butt. Like it's terrible. It's extraordinarily slow and it hangs sometimes. So the fewer pages we can use, the better. The easier it is to find stuff. I think that's it. Cool? So Chris, thank you for saying that about the textbook, because I wouldn't have thought I would have read to do anything else. Even though I sent